Welcome to our Delaware diorama. If you look closely at a map of the United States, Delaware can be a little tricky to spot. It has only 3 counties. Despite its small size, Delaware's role in the American story started right at the beginning. In 1787, when the United States was first getting started, leaders wrote a set of rules for the new national government. Delaware was the very first in line to officially approve those rules, which is how it earned the nickname the First State. This is a replica of that historical agreement, the United States Constitution. You can see the famous opening words, "We the people," written in large, carefully curved letters at the top. Long before those signatures were dry, people already lived and governed themselves on this land. For thousands of years, native nations, including the Lenape and Nanticoke peoples, have known these rivers and forests, and their communities continue to protect their culture and history in Delaware today. The ancient homelands of the Lenape and the signatures on the Constitution are like layers of a foundation. Each one had to be in place before the state we see today could be built. If you walk from the ocean toward the center of the state, the sandy beaches gently fade into wide, watery fields called tidal marshes. These are places where the local rivers and the salty sea mix together. Because the weather here changes through 4 distinct seasons, bringing plenty of summer sun and spring rain, the wetlands are full of life. In the quietest spots, tall, bald cypress trees grow straight up out of the shallow water. All of that thick marsh grass and forest creates excellent hiding spots for local wildlife. If you stay very still, you might spot a gray fox watching you from the edge of the woods. Since the land is so low and close to the ocean waves, protecting these watery habitats is the only way to ensure these animals have a safe place to stay during high tides and storms. Today, Delaware is home to over 1 million people. It is a mix of Black families with deep historical roots, members of native tribes, and neighbors from all over the world who have moved here to start new lives. Many of those families live in Wilmington, the largest city in the state, filled with tall office buildings and old stone churches. Further south is Dover, the state capital. This red brick building is Legislative Hall, where leaders from every county meet to make the rules. Out on the water, Fort Delaware shows how people protected the coast. It was built in a pentagon shape with thick stone walls. Whether they're working in a tall city office, voting on laws in Dover, or preserving these old coastal forts, every community member helps keep the state running. To celebrate their home, people in Delaware picked official symbols. The state bird is the Blue Hen chicken, recognized by its dusty blue feathers and the bright red comb on top of its head. Other symbols represent the state's natural beauty, like the pink peach blossom and the American holly tree, which has shiny green leaves that stay bright even in the winter. Farming is a major part of the economy here. You will see thousands of acres of corn and soybeans, which provide the food for the millions of chickens raised on local farms. Beyond the chicken houses and cornfields, researchers in Delaware laboratories spend their days inventing new chemicals, medicines, and fabrics. Those inventions even helped people reach the stars. The first astronauts to walk on the moon wore suits made of specialized fabrics developed in Delaware. In Delaware, the same communities that harvest corn for local families also engineer the gear that keeps astronauts safe on the moon. Some of the state's most important visitors arrive on the beach every spring. These ancient animals with hard shells are horseshoe crabs, and they crawl out of the waves by the millions to lay their eggs. Right as the eggs appear, flocks of orange-feathered birds called redouts land on the sand. They have traveled a long way, and they are very hungry for a snack. These birds are in the middle of a massive migration. This red line shows their flight path, starting in South America and ending right here on the Delaware coast, where they stop to refuel before continuing their journey. Even though Delaware's coastline is small, animals from all over the world depend on it to survive. It shows that you can have a massive impact on the planet without being the biggest state on the map. Now that you've seen the diorama, you can try some Delaware traditions yourself. You could start in the kitchen by baking a peach pie, the official state dessert. You could also use paper and glue to build a model of a bright red lighthouse, just like the ones that stand on stone walls to guide ships safely through the dark water. If you like to go fast, you can learn about the high-speed stock cars that race around the asphalt track in Dover. For a quick stretch, stand up, reach your arms out wide, and flap them fast, just like the Blue Hen. Our tour of the diorama is ending. You can continue the discovery yourself whenever you step outside to look at the trees, watch the water, or ask a question about your own community.